CG Tuscaloosa, a Town Square media station. What may it be? You can forget about it. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 HD2 Northport. W265CG Tuscaloosa. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Alabama 1st and 10 on the 12. Again, Houston. He's got a hole. He's over. Alabama touchdown.
I'm just wondering if your listeners know how good a football player you were. I can still see you playing that fullback, knocking those players out of the way. And I believe I could have run behind you.
Martin, I can remember when we came to summer and you were playing fullback up there. And I saw you in the weight room and watched you work out in the weight room. And you could pick up, you were strong enough to pick up the whole weight room. I wanted to pick you, and I running back coach didn't take the pass. Biggest mistake we ever made.
The Martin Houston Show with national championship winning fullback Martin Houston, giving you 1 hour of intense, hard-hitting analysis from an insider's perspective. It's time for the Martin Houston Show on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
All right, Martin, you're hot. 3, 2, 1.
Good morning. Welcome into the Martin Houston Show on Tide 100.9 on your radio dial. Martin Houston live on Facebook and at Martin Houston 35 on Twitter. Give us a like, give us a follow, share us with your family and friends. Tell someone about what's happening on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9, the Martin Houston Show, the sound of Bama sports, your show, your team. Give us a call on the Taco Casa hotline at 205-342-9904, 205-342-9904. The Taco Casa hotline is open for business. Looking forward to hearing from you this morning as we make our rounds and discussions this morning. 205-342-9904. And Taco Casa, quality, taste, value under the biggest cactus in town. They're a great choice for lunch and or dinner. Go check them out, and they'll be glad to serve you, and you're always going to get quality, taste, and great value at Taco Casa, tacocasa.com. Good morning, Joe. How you doing, sir?
Oh, I'm doing all right today, Martin. Having a good Thursday. Just really getting woken up today.
All right. Well, I actually was doing a little research, several several of the topics that are kind of offshoot that you had actually done a couple stories on. I like to try to hit other athletes. I know we'll do a lot of hot and heavy on Alabama football, but and use this around the big stars. But there's a lot of other sports happening around the capstone, and Alabama, of course, lost the players to graduation, but also lost players to grad programs, etc. And you have a story about Alabama softball getting a young lady, Miss Ashley Prang, I think is how you say that last name. What kind of tell our listeners what Alabama's getting in this player with so many new holes and stuff coming off of Team 25.
Well, Alabama last weekend picked up a transfer for their Team 26. Ashley Prang is a middle infielder for Ohio State, and she actually pretty accomplished. Let's see. I know she set the Indiana high school state record for home runs in a season, I believe. Yes. Okay. I'm getting back to her now. She was in Indiana's Mrs. Softball before going to Ohio State. She was all freshman team in 2019, and so she's had some good success at Ohio State already. I think that she's really coming to fill a hole because, Alabama lost Taylor Clark and Claire Jenkins to graduation, and then also Bailey Dowling will be coming off a knee injury that she sustained last year. So really looking at Savannah Woodard as being one of the main returning interior infielders. So Miss Prang can she's going to have an opportunity to step right in and contribute right away. And we all know what happened in football with the immediate transfer rules, the one-time transfer rules. But softball has had that. You never have had to sit out in softball. So Patrick Murphy, kind of using the transfer portal to make sure that Team 26 has all its holes filled. I think that it's going to be good to get an experienced middle infielder to supplement Team 26.
Absolutely. So congratulations, her, and welcome, Ms. Prang, to Tuscaloosa and Alabama. Another this guy kind of slipped in and not with a lot of talk because of the position potentially, but with Alabama's news of a punter transferring from Troy, didn't get a lot of talk, but another article that you wrote up on Tuscaloosa Thread, a big punter. I don't know how if he's a big time recruit, but he's definitely a big punter. Tell us a little bit about Mr. James Burnip from Mount Macedon in Victoria, Australia. So Alabama gets a punter, decommitted from Ole Miss, committing to the Crimson Tide. Is this going to impact the young man from Troy? And how old? I hadn't found the age yet. A lot of times you get those Australian rule players, they're like 30 years old. But tell us a little bit about our punter we got.
Well, I'm not sure. I'm with you on not knowing the age, but I do know that one of the primary reasons he decommitted from Ole Miss and decided to come to Alabama is eligibility. Ole Miss was offering him 3 years to play college football, and Alabama offered him 4 years. So he accepted a 4-year offer to come to Alabama this year, and I'm not sure if he's going to impact Taylor, the kid from Troy, Jack Martin, excuse me, Jack. He's an Australian He's an Australian punter. He's never played football in his life. He's never played a down of live football in his life. Only simulated football and only simulated snaps at his kicking camp. But Pro Kick Australia, the program that he's come from, has put out 5 Ray Guy Award winners since 2010, most recently being Michael Dixon from University of Texas. So the program that he's coming from in Australia has some proven success. We'll see if he can translate that success onto the field here in Tuscaloosa. But yeah, like you said, he's a 6'6" punter, so he's going to be a big old boy. Maybe we can get him out. Maybe he can be useful in the fake game as well.
Yeah, 6'6", 216, big time punter. As far as size, we don't know what he'll do in terms of the field. But as you said, Jack Martin, the young man from Troy, is a very accomplished punter, one of the best in the South, best at his level for sure, but one of the best in the country, already committed to Alabama. But the punting room was a little crowded, but of course, a couple guys supposedly have made decisions that they're going to transfer out. So we'll see if there's a punting battle at the University of Alabama moving forward. Nick Saban, of course, saying he's not bringing somebody in unless he thinks they're better, Joe. So maybe we'll see a fun battle. And are you a big fan of that style kicking? No,
not really, but probably just because I'm not very used to it. I know it's effective. Maybe I'm just a traditionalist. I want the snap, the catch, the drop, the kick. But the rollout, I mean, it can be effective if you know what you're doing. Maybe I just need to get used to it a little bit more.
Yeah, well, I think it's definitely not as pretty. Like nothing was as pretty as seeing J.K. Scott take that long 6'5", 6'6" frame and stretch that leg all the way out and his foot go up over his head and he kicked the ball. Looked like it the ceiling. But it's tough to return those Australian rule punts. They look like they're going to get blocked every time. Somehow they don't. But we'll keep an eye on him as another interesting story to look at from the Alabama Crimson Tide. And yet another kind of sidebar story, Joe, that kind of hits Alabama athletes, former Alabama athletes. So far, 13 Alabama athletes, we hadn't talked much about this, but have made the Olympics in terms of representing the various sports, but they have some type of Alabama tie. And of course, heading that list, the most probably well-known name amongst Alabama fans would be Justin Thomas. Is going to be a part of the USA golf team. And then other athletes that we'll give a shout out to: Ryan White, swimmer on the swimming team; Haley McCleney, former softball player. She is on the team. David Robinson, baseball; Daniel Ha, track and field. And as we get further down, just excuse the names, but Shaylin Olsen, a gymnast, she's representing, although the first five were representing Team USA, the others, I'll say the name, sport, and country. Olsen, gymnast, Canada; Meryl Van Dongen, soccer, Netherlands; Christian, Kolovmev, swimming, Greece; Anton McKee, swimming, Iceland; Abbas Kaylee, swimming, Kuwait. Hey, swimming, we must have a pretty good swimming team. Diana Pekovic, swimming, Bulgaria. So we have, hold on, Joe, do we need to start covering our swimming team? We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people on from our that have ties to UA swimming team that are representing their various countries in swimming. And then we got Corinna James, track and field, Grenada; and Jareem Richards, track and field, Trinidad, Tobago. So, but congratulations to those. Like I said, I know that's not something we normally talk about here, but man, that's a big deal. I don't know if you watched any of the trials or not, Joe. Have you watched any of the Olympic trials?
Very sporadically.
I'm not. I can't even remember the young man's name, but I'm like you. Every once in a while, I've watched it. But supposedly we had a young man, Frazier, that was gonna be just all world in the 800. Probably the first time in a long time the U.S. was supposed to be competitive in the 800. And he's a world record holder, American record holder, not world, but American record holder. Unbelievable. Man, they got out there, Joe, and it has to be one of the most epic fails you've ever seen. They're running the finals. He comes in dead last. Like last. It was so bad. And the announcers, it would be like Alabama playing who would be not even a Coastal Carolina. It was just you couldn't believe it as you watched it. You're like, he looked like he's, and then it's like, well, he's gonna come back. And then he went to third, and then he went to fourth, and then when everybody kicked in on that last 200, out. But anyway, I love watching the Olympics. That's one of those sports that I kind of do, like the NBA finals, that I kind of watch as it goes. So we'll move on from there. I just want to take that part of the show to do a little shout out to some of the other sports. Coming up on the other side, what is Nate Oates up to, Joe? Is he putting college football on notice that Alabama will come and play and go and do whatever it takes? You're going to have to deal with this Alabama Crimson Tide basketball program. What am I talking about? Stay tuned. We'll talk about it on the other side. You listen to the Martin Houston Show on Tide 100.9.
From the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center, we've got a wreck on Lurleen northbound at 11th Street downtown with significant delays this morning. Everything else looks pretty good. If you do see conditions, just give us a call. Townsend Nissan has the best selection of new cars, trucks, and SUVs in town, and they really need your trade. I'm Captain Ray.
All right, we have goat yoga Pilates coming up in the yoga room. Hey, Regan, can you go away?
At Finley's Fitness, personal trainers shouldn't have to personally do everything.
Engage that core. That class started 2 minutes ago. I am late. Hey, Dylan, can you...
Indeed can help them hire the people they need.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job, you immediately get your short list of quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job criteria. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Do you remember a time that you would go to the drive-in movie theater and have a blast as a kid? You can pass on the experience to a new generation every Saturday at dusk at Government Plaza. We are showing a movie in the park on a 30-plus foot screen. Our next movie is Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. We have food vendors on site. This is your chance to bring out the kids and enjoy a family-friendly event, and it's free thanks to our sponsors: Pepsi, Bryant Bank, Tuscaloosa Tourism and Sports, First Kids Urgent Care, Burnham Lawn Exterminators, the City of Tuscaloosa, and Town Square Media. Join us June 26th at Government Plaza.
This is a big deal. Now at healthcare.gov, millions more people can get affordable health coverage. Due to the COVID relief law, 4 out of 5 customers can get a plan for under $10 a month with financial help. From doctor visits to preventive services to prescription drugs, these are quality plans. You can do this. You can have coverage as soon as July 1st if you sign up now at healthcare.gov. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
Mix of sun and clouds today with a small chance of isolated showers. Warm 87 your afternoon high. Fair skies tonight with a low near 68. Tomorrow, some morning clouds giving way to partly cloudy skies. Small chance of an isolated shower. Warm again in a high of 87. I'm meteorologist Bill Murray on Tide 100.9.
It's 68 degrees in Tuscaloosa.
Scott Smith and Sophomart Design, doing business for 17 plus years, specializing in graphic design services, commercial printing, promotional products, advertising specialties, and so much more. Basically, any and everything you would need to advertise, promote, and grow your business. Through strong partnerships, strong customer service, and creative ideas, they'll help you market and grow your business. Give Scott a call at 205-292-4680 or email scottis@comcast.net and visit them online at sophmartdesign.com.
Interact with the Martin Houston Show by calling us at 205-342-9904 or tuning into the Martin Houston Show on Facebook.
All right, Martin, you're hot in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back into the Martin Houston Show. Sophmart Design. Sophmart Design is the official outfitter of the Martin Houston Show. Go check them out at sophmartdesign.com. Sophmartdesign.com is where you can find them, whether you're looking for promo items, great apparel, or someone to help you build your brand and promote your brand and your business and grow your business. Sophmart Design is who you need to speak with. They will be glad to assist you and help you do just that. Scott Smith and his team are waiting to serve you. Check them out at sophmartdesign.com. All right. Judge, we're going to break there. Tease Nate Oates and the Alabama basketball program. In football, I've heard people complain about Alabama's out-of-conference game and how they need to not just Alabama, but a lot of the big boys. Well, Nate Oates is making sure that the Alabama fans don't have much to complain about when it comes to the out of conference schedule. Alabama on just 3 of their out of conference games. If they don't play but those 3, they may have the toughest, potentially the toughest out of schedule conference in the country, with 3 of the Final 4 teams slated to compete against the capstone, with Gonzaga, Baylor being added. News being released yesterday. Baylor, the defending national champs, being added, and of course Houston, which was a Final 4 team as well. Is this the toughest non-conference schedule you've seen an Alabama team, and has anyone had a non-conference schedule like this?
Well, in my recent memory, no. I think that this is one of the toughest schedules Alabama was putting together, but I love it. I think it's great for Nate Oates to go out there and go after the defending champ. I mean, you're playing both the teams that were in the finals last year, so I'm excited about it.
Well, yeah. Think about from a recruiting standpoint. Whether you know this is one of the things in basketball. In football, it could keep you out of it, right? You know, if you play these 3 teams and things go sideways and you don't win, you know. But in basketball, they can literally have a good loss against any of these 3 teams and then do well in the conference, and it only bolstered their rankings and their opportunity to win a championship. And as a recruit, as a big-time recruit, that's who you want to be playing against. Because you know when you play against Gonzaga or Baylor or teams like that, you know that there's going to be NBA eyes on you. You know that there's going to be not just that, but now with transfer being even more of an issue in basketball than it is in football, you know you're going to have eyes on you. So Nate Oates definitely making a big time statement. And if you're an Alabama basketball fan, you have got to be really, really excited. What do they have to do, Joe, to come out of that with let me see, garnered respect? What does Alabama need to do against those 3 teams?
Well, Alabama's got to. You got to play them close. And you got to play them tough. You got to win some of those games. I feel like you're playing Baylor here at home in Coleman. So right there, you're gonna have some home court advantage. We've had success in the SEC Big 12 Challenge before. They're Alabama 3-2 overall, and I think you're gonna have to play Gonzaga pretty close on a neutral court.
Yeah, and that's kind of. I think if they don't beat Baylor and or Gonzaga, I think they really need to get a win against Houston. And that's more of a perception thing, I think, than it is necessarily that those 2 teams are going to be better than Houston next year. But if you, even if the defending champs are not the same, if you beat them on your home court, it's going to go a long way toward helping you build your program. And I love it. Is this Joe going after the big boys like this? Is this in a way the strategy? Remember Nick Saban, his recruiting strategy for scheduling games was the neutral site game, big time, other Power 5 conference team. I'll never forget. I believe that Clemson game put Alabama's rebuild program under Nick Saban in overdrive, or supercharged it when we shocked Clemson. And from that point on, Alabama has not looked back. Is this the same strategy and approach that would supercharge Nate Oates' program? And even though he's on, in hyperdrive, to me, there's just so many similarities between the way he's trying to build his program, his recruiting, his scheduling, his players as Nick Saban.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, you schedule these games, Houston and Gonzaga. You schedule these games to get on national TV, and that's really what the benefit is. And if you play well, then it resonates with the recruits. And you get the Baylor game scheduled because of your success last year. SEC Big 12 Challenge, they kind of try to match up the Big 12 team and the SEC team kind of on the same plane. And for the SEC and Big 12 to say, Baylor's our best team, who's our best, who's our best team in the SEC, and for them to pick Alabama, I think that just shows the respect that Alabama's already starting to build, and you continue to do that by scheduling these high-profile non-conference games that get you on national TV.
And I agree. I think that tells you where the SEC feels like Alabama is in terms of the conference. Which conference would you like to see from a football side do a conference challenge? I would love to see that happen on the football side.
Yeah, with the ACC, I think that'd be great. Every year, kind of have an open date for the top 14 for the 14 teams in the conference, and there you get paired up with a similar ACC level opponent. I think that'd be awesome.
Now, do you think this rule change the 12 team might let something like that happen now, because you pretty much get a mulligan now if you were to lose that game?
You'd have to. I mean, you'd have to get. Yes, it would be more likely to happen, but you'd have to get these schools to stop scheduling 15 years in advance to create an open slot like that. And I think it'd be cool just to have everybody in the conference knows. Okay, we're leaving one open date so that we're going to play the ACC or we're going to play the Big 12. Some sort of one open date where you're getting a Power 5 opponent. And you're representing the conference as well as your own school.
I think it would be awesome, Joe. And think about this: say Alabama and Clemson lock up and play, and then Alabama loses that game to Clemson. Wins that game against Clemson. Clemson goes on and is the number 1, number 2 seed, but then Alabama loses to LSU, and then LSU goes on and represents the West. You think that Alabama now has a great chance of being one of those top teams, or any team that happens to, when the team that they beat in a cross conference goes on to win their conference and then they don't represent theirs? So I think it would be some great conversations, and it would show kind of that conversation of, hey, the best conference may have 2 or 3 of the best teams, and the other conference best team may not be as good as somebody else representing. So that would be fun to see. Let's get to Pat. Pat, you're in with the Martin Houston Show. What's on your mind, sir?
I think Pat's holding for Hank South. Getting Hank South a little bit.
Okay, that's right. Never mind. Pat, you just hold on, because that's right. I know you'll have a question for Hank, but yeah, Joe, I think that would be a lot of fun. We'll see if it happens, but I cannot tell you how much respect I have for Nate Oates and what he's done on the basketball court already, in the approach he seems to be taking. He's not shying away from any challenges. And if you're a player out there, you have to love that, because your coach is not only just building your team, he's going to create opportunities for you to showcase your talent against the best talent in your sport. So kudos, Alabama picking up defending national champion Baylor on their schedule. We're adding that to Gonzaga and University of Houston. 3 of the Final Four teams will be on display against your Alabama Crimson Tide this fall. Come back on the other side. We'll bring in Hank South, 247 Sports, Bama Online Recruiting.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
From the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center, we've got a wreck alerting northbound at 11th Street downtown with significant delays this morning. Everything else looks pretty good. If you do see conditions, just give us a call. Townsend Nissan has the best selection of new cars, trucks, and SUVs in town, and they really need your trade. I'm Captain Ray.
Hello, this is Martin Houston with the Martin Houston Show, and I want to tell you about one of our great sponsors, Overflow Express Wash. Their mission is to provide great customer service with a showroom clean car and an exceptional customer service experience. They have the basic car wash that starts at $7, but you need to check out the premium wash packages, which start as low as $12 and go up to $20. They also have a membership wash club that you can get for starting at $23.99, going up to $39.99. In other words, just double the regular premium package, drop a penny, and you can be one of the great members of Overflow Express Wash. My family and I keep our cars looking good inside and out by using Overflow Express Wash. They're located on Skyland Boulevard right next door to Alabama 1, or you can find them online at overflowexpresswash.com. Andy Phillips and his team look forward to making you a part of their team.
All right, we have goat yoga lattes coming up in the yoga room. Hey, vegan, can you go
At Finley's Fitness, personal trainers shouldn't have to personally do everything.
Engage that core. That class started 2 minutes ago. I am late. Hey, Dylan, can you...
Indeed can help them hire the people they need.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job, you immediately get your short list of quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job criteria. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
In the concert event of a lifetime, come experience the dynamic energy of one of the most accomplished musicians of our time, Carlos Santana. Blessings and Miracles Tour 2021. Friday, September 24th, Tuscaloosa Amphitheater. Take a trip through the hits from Woodstock to Supernatural and a backwards flip into the unknown. Reserve seat tickets on sale Friday at 10 a.m. at Ticketmaster.com. Part of the Coca-Cola Concert Series. Produced by Red Mountain Entertainment.
Nick Saban calls it the process. John Maxwell said that everything rises and falls on it. And Coach Wooden said it's what you learn after you think you know it all that makes the difference. What am I talking about? Leadership and personal development. Is your organization, your school, your church, your family, are they receiving the proper level of leadership development and personal development? If not, the Empowerment Center for Leadership and Mentoring can help you with that. We have our pep talks, which is a 1 to 1.5 hour lunch and learn, which we can customize to meet your needs, or we have some topics that we present that we know can help your organization. And if you're looking for one-on-one mentoring and coaching, we can also assist you with that. Visit peptalks35.com. That's peptalks35.com, or send an email to martin@martinhouston.org. That's the Empowerment Center for Leadership and Mentoring.
Welcome back to the Martin Houston Show, the sound of Bama sports. Your show, your team, on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
While you're hot, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back into the Martin Houston Show on Tide 100.9. We've had some great conversation this morning, highlighting a couple of the other sports around the capstone. Just finished up talking about basketball in the Big 12 Challenge. C.J. Watson commenting, if they were to do a challenge in football, I think it would be the opposite of how they do basketball, in that they wouldn't pair the best versus the best, but instead would set the best up for success by scheduling a lesser opponent. Not enough games in football, Rich. You best losing in the challenge game, of course. That may change with 12-team playoff in the mix, but certainly not in a 14 format. I agree with 14 format. I don't see them intentionally scheduling best against best, but hey, who knows with the 12 team. It'll be interesting to see the impact it has. It's now time for us to catch up with Hank South, 247 Sports, Bama online recruiting guru. Good morning, Hank. Welcome into the Martin Houston Show. How you doing, sir?
Hey, good morning, Martin. I'm good. How are you?
Doing well. Well, kind of surprising news updates. Big weekends. Final weekend coming up. I just kind of let you kind of catch us up on the happenings of the past week, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah, it was a huge weekend last weekend in Tuscaloosa. This week will be big as well. Kind of the final two, chances for Bama to host visitors before the dead period kicks in again, and then of course it's pretty much a dead period for the rest of the summer until the season starts. There's a little window in July that opens up, and there's visitors again for a week. But really, the next significant recruiting period is September once camp ends and the season starts. But last weekend was huge turnout for official visitors. We got updates up for most of them, or interviews up for most of them coming off the weekend. Guys like Zach Rice, the number one offensive tackle in the country, Elijah Pritchett, another four-star offensive tackle, Anai White, one of the top edge rushers, Branson Robinson, the top running back, and so on. There was a bunch of guys, denied Dennis Sutton, the defensive end from Maryland. Big 2023 visitor, Arch Manning, the five-star quarterback, nephew of Peyton and Eli Manning, was on campus. Two really big unofficial visits. Domani Jackson, the five-star cornerback from California that's committed to USC. Earl Little, the four-star cornerback from South Florida. Then there's Luther Burden as well, the five-star Oklahoma commit. So just a loaded weekend. All those guys caught up with us after their time on campus. Bama didn't come away with any commitment, but we haven't seen a lot of guys make decisions. At least at this point on any of these visitors weekends, there hasn't been a ton of commitments, just because I think kids are trying to get a feel for everything this month, and I think you'll see more probably decisions come July and August after this round of official visits. So, but up next this weekend, another huge weekend, probably a bigger weekend overall with official visits in terms of just priority targets. The biggest one, that could have most immediate impact is JT Tuimoloau. He's going to be on campus for his long-awaited official visit that we've been talking about for months, for like a year.
Yeah.
He'll be on campus for his final official. I think he's wrapping up an Oregon official visit today, and then maybe it was yesterday. I don't know. Midweek Oregon official. And then he's going to head to Tuscaloosa tomorrow. Then other guys on camp expected for official visits: Denver Harris, top cornerback in the country; Bear Alexander, five-star defensive lineman; Omari Abor, another five-star defensive lineman. The list is up at BOL. There's just a ton of guys expected in this weekend on officials. And then they'll also, I think they're doing the makeup 7-on-7 camp this weekend as well, because they had a 7-on-7 thing scheduled for last Saturday, got canceled, I think due to weather. And so, we'll see who shows up. But Evan Stewart's another big name on an unofficial visit that's expected in this weekend. So I could just ramble on about it, just throw out a name. Because, just name a kid, they're probably coming to Bama, at some point this month or this weekend. So huge list of guys. And then there's, I'll stop talking for a minute, but then there's upcoming commitment news as well.
Okay, well, I'm gonna hold you there. I'm gonna let Pat come on. Then I have a few rapid fire questions for you. Pat, you're in with Hank South 247 Sports Bama Online Recruiting and the Martin Houston Show. What's on your mind, sir?
Good morning, fellas. Hey, didn't you? I think I read where that Jackson's visit was not official, and that he would be able to possibly give Alabama an official visit in order for Saban to get another chance at him. Is that correct?
That's correct, yeah. He took a 4-day unofficial visit. So he came down with his dad and his mom, took a 4-day unofficial visit, and they haven't committed to coming back for an official visit, but I think, I think Bama did enough, impressed them enough for them to want to do that during a game this season, yeah.
Gotcha. I thought that would help Coach Smith in closing. That, and then now, do you feel like that we're going to be able to pick up at least 2, because we're needing to load the defensive line, and that we're going to be able to pick
two of the top defensive tackles in the country. Do you think we have a pretty good footing on that? Besides HCT.
Yeah, no, I think Bama's in pretty good shape. As we speak, Walter Nolan, the number one defensive tackles in the country, is at Bama right now on an official visit. Florida's been making a lot of noise there. He's acting like he's on the verge of committing, but he's still taking all these visits. So I think Bama, Florida, LSU, Georgia, those are kind of the schools to watch there for him. Like I was telling Martin a second ago, major defensive line visits per weekend, whether it be Amari Abor, who's a 5-star, Bear Alexander, who recently decommitted from Georgia. He'll be on campus. Anthony Lucas, top defensive lineman out of Arizona. Bama's going to sign some big name guys on the defensive front. Already have 2 commitments from Walter Bob and Jaheim Otis. And then of course we'll see what happens with JT Tuimoloau this weekend as well. What his decision timeline is going to be after this visit. So I think they're in pretty good shape.
Yeah, Bear going anywhere other than Tuscaloosa would be sacrilegious, I believe. But hey, I'm gonna put your feet to the fire here. JTT, sure. I'm hearing is going to be bringing his clothes with him and to stay. What do you think, Hank? He's on the fire. If probability being 10 being, I'm saying it being an 8 to Bama.
Okay. I'm not as optimistic. I probably, I think Ohio State has the edge coming in. I think that's the team to beat, but everyone keeps saying, Bama got the last visit. You can't count out Saban. This is what they do. They close on guys. So, I'd like to wait till Sunday to make it a pick, but I would pick Ohio State right now if I was picking more.
I hope that this is one of them ones where your percentage goes down, buddy. Hey, have a blessed day, Hank. Thank you for what you do, man.
All right, thanks, Pat. Well, just because he brings his luggage doesn't mean he might bring his luggage, but he might bring his luggage so he can just leave here and go to Ohio State as well. I guess it'd be just as simple of a trip. So,
I think he's gonna go. That'd be so inconvenient to pack all your trying to go on a visit, but also bring everything with you. Why not just fly home real quick, get the rest of your stuff, come back?
Yeah, interesting take by Pat there. But we're speaking with Hank South, 247 Sports, Bama Online Recruiting. All right, Hank. Arch Manning. I've had several of my callers asking because there really hasn't been a lot written, but you said you guys caught up with most of the guys. Did y'all get a chance to catch up with him?
No, we're still working on him. His camp is pretty tight-lipped, obviously.
Yeah.
He doesn't really do many interviews. I think most of the info comes from his coach or people around him. So that's still, top of my list today. Try to get something on how that went. But he was on campus. We know he was. There was, he took it to the photo shoot and everything, and he threw and all that. So, we'll see what we can get. Hopefully something, comes free here in the next couple of days, and we can get kind of a recap.
What about Shamar James picking the Gators over Bama? Done deal or still potential for Alabama to swing that back?
I think Bama could still swing that back. I think he caught a lot of people by surprise. Not that he picked Florida, just by, committing on the visit. I think the expectation was he was going to wait till, early July, get back from his visits and kind of check on things and, do pros and cons kind of stuff. But I think, he likes Florida a lot. He's actually been saying since February or March that he felt Florida was either recruiting him hardest or one of the schools recruiting him hardest. But, you go back to his official visit to Bama in early June. He said Bama had the edge after that weekend. Just they impressed him so much. So, I was talking to people close to him, or one person close to him, even yesterday, and they said, that really caught them off guard just with the timing and everything. So, I think there's still potential for him to change his mind. But again, I think he really likes Florida. He's got, guys from Mobile that are at Florida or have been from Mobile that have gone through Florida. His host was the Diabate from Auburn that he had a good time with. I think there's a past the earlier playing time probably of Florida that they probably pitch. With the linebackers Bama's recruited the last couple of years. So we'll see. But I think Bama still has a shot in that recruitment here. So far out from signing day.
Yeah, and that's what when guys commit on their visits and it's unexpected. A lot of times that's why I asked you that question. A lot of times those are guys who you have a chance to potentially sway away because they got that, sort of like the car salesman, the person who buys a car and then has buyer's remorse because they let the salesman, even though they like the car they got, they're not quite sure if there's a better one out there. And I think that may be the case with him, even though he likes Florida, as you had already attested to. This is just kind of a rapid fire round of questions here. I saw you have an article up about Mason Taylor. Is that Jason Taylor's kid from the Dolphins, or who's the legacy there?
Yeah, it's Jason Taylor's son. So he camped on Monday and got an offer. I was thinking the whole time talking to him he was 2023, and then we get off the phone and I was like, oh, he's a 2022 recruit. So he got an offer. Obviously interesting tie to Bama. Jason Taylor obviously played for Saban when he was the coach on the Dolphins. So they have kind of a special connection there. Has known him for a while. He said he's gonna narrow his list down in July and August and kind of go from there. But he went on this big school tour. I think he went to A&M, Georgia, Pitt, LSU, Florida, Bama. So he saw a bunch of schools in the last couple of weeks, and so we'll see where he stands coming out of that. But yeah, interesting offer nonetheless. I think he's Zach Thomas's nephew as well, so he's got some NFL in his family for sure.
What position and where is he ranked from a kind of a national standpoint?
Yeah, he's a tight end, big kid. I think he was 6'5.5", 240. No surprise there, but tight end. So we'll see. Bama has one tight end committed. Excuse me, in Elijah Brown. Maybe getting some good, tight end projection news today with the commitment coming up, and so a lot of these kids, we've seen Bama, have guys camp and then offer them, and they want to see a little bit more of them in the season. We saw that with the kids this week, Fitzgerald West. Even Nick Saban saying it to them, we're offering you, but we still do want to see a little bit more of you this fall. So it's kind of camp isn't like sealing the deal for a lot of kids this year. It doesn't seem like. So I'm not sure if that's the deal with Mason Taylor, but definitely a lot of interest there from Alabama. I'm just not sure. Are they going to take 3 tight ends in the class?
All right, you've teased this, Hank, as we call it in the radio business. Alabama potentially getting a commitment announcement. Who, what, and where?
Yeah, so this was a big camp performance that really vaulted somebody up the board. Some guys just blow away the staff so much that they've got a spot. But Amari Nyblack, he's a 3-star. Everyone say, oh no, 3-star. No, he's a 3-star athlete, 3-star tight end from Clearwater, Florida. He camped on Monday, got an offer from the staff. He checked in at 6'4", 226, ran a 4.7, and just had a really, really, really good camp on Monday. And he got the Bama offer, and then he went ahead and set his commitment date for today. So he's expected to announce a decision sometime around, I believe I have it on my phone, I think 12:30 Central Time. 12:30 Central Time is, sometime in that range. He's expected to announce a decision. I think Bama's going to get him. I think he's going to commit to Bama. He's got offers from Georgia, Florida, Florida State. But I think his performance on Monday at Bama has really kind of given them the edge in that visit also as well. I say tight end, but he's more of really an athlete. So I think he could play he could play defensive end. He could grow into something on the defensive side of the ball. When we're talking about other tight ends, Bama's recruiting, I don't think it's a foregone conclusion that they could take another one just considering Amari Niblack. Yeah, he's 6'4", 226, recruited probably as a tight end, but also a guy that project on the defensive side of the ball. He can be considered a wide receiver, so can do a lot of different things with him. So not necessarily just tight end. So look out for that news today. Amari Niblack, 12:30 Central Time. I think Bama's going to get some good news from him today. You
said he's a 3-star. Is he a 3-star just because we don't have a lot of film on him, or late bloomer? COVID was good to him. Because it sounds like he has every offer that any other 4 or 5-star tight end would have at this point.
Yeah, that's a good question. I'm not sure what why the rankings kind of come lagging a little bit on him because he's got film. It's 2 minutes of film, so it's not a ton of film. So that could be it. He might not have gotten out to camps, but yeah, again, like a lot of these kids, they were seen for the first time in the last 3 or 4 months on the camp circuit, right, when we can get back out. But yeah, Andrew Ivins will, he's known all about him, so he'll probably have some more on him. But yeah, it looks like he got graded in 88 at the beginning of this year, and that's kind of still where he is. So he's probably due up for a rankings reevaluation sometime soon.
Okay, awesome. Well, that's Hank South, 247 Sports, Bama Online Recruiting. Hank, you got some great articles up. Tell our listeners where they can find you and connect with you.
Yeah, BamaOnline.com. We're actually starting tonight at midnight or 11 p.m. There's going to be a promo, 2 months for $1. So, good time this weekend to join and stay through the beginning of the season. You'll probably want to stay on board for the rest of that because there's going to be so much going on. But BamaOnline.com, and my Twitter is @HankSouth247.
All right, give you one more chance. JTT bringing his clothes and staying in Tuscaloosa? Just kidding. All right, thanks. All right, Hank. We'll have to follow your Twitter account @HankSouth247 Sports to see if you change your mind and you start feeling good about JTT. I need you to tweet it out about Sunday morning before I head to church. Okay.
I will.
All right, thanks, Hank. You have a great day, man.
No problem.
All right. Coming back on the other side, we have the Martin Houston Show 2-minute warning.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
From the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center, authorities have cleared the wreck on Lurleen northbound downtown, and traffic is moving well. Minor congestion on McFarland and Lurleen in Northport. If you see other conditions, just give us a call. Townsend Nissan has the best selection of new cars, trucks, and SUVs in town, and they really need your trade. I'm Captain Ray.
Here's what's trending on the Tuscaloosa thread.
Good morning. Recovery from Tropical Storm Claudette continues to dominate concerns in Northport. Floodwaters at Bridge Avenue and 6th Street have been pumped out. And Northport's 2nd District Council member Woodrow Washington says part of the $750,000 allocated by the Council for Recovery will be used to mitigate that problem in the future. Church of the Highlands and other faith-based groups are seeking volunteers to help clean up the flood-ravaged Willowbrook Trailer Park on Saturday, 8 a.m. till noon. Keep up with local news on TuscaloosaThread.com. It's free. I'm Don Hart.
Hello, this is Martin Houston with the Martin Houston Show, and I want to tell you about Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing. If you're looking for a way to add value to your home, make your flower beds pop, make your landscaping stand out from your neighbors, then Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing can help you do just that. They have numerous styles, but they feature the Moroccan Stone Curb series, which includes 4 great styles and unlimited color choices. That's Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing. They are the one that can help you stand out from your neighbors. Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing, 205-331-6823. You may also find yourself with the need for a custom size stone or custom shaped stone. Then Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing can help with that as well. Paul Fuller and his team are waiting on your call right now for that free quote. And if you tell them that Martin Houston with the Martin Houston Show told you to stop by, you'll get a big discount. So call Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing at 205-331-6823 or visit them online at Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing, LLC.
At Northport Auto Supply, we understand there's nothing worse than a dead battery. So to keep this from happening, be sure you periodically check your battery, including the terminals for corrosion. And if you ever need help, then come by Northport Auto Supply and let our knowledgeable professionals check your battery for free. Northport Auto Supply has the area's largest inventory of batteries in stock, and we'll even install it for you at no charge.
Northport Auto Supply. Why? Go
Williams.
Ask Sherwin-Williams and get your color your way. We've made it easier than ever to try and buy color. Preview paint colors in your home with our Color Snap app. Then visit swsamples.com to have color chips delivered to your door for free. Or order some peel and stick samples to try on your wall. When you're ready to paint, shop online or stop by your neighborhood Sherwin-Williams store and get everything you need.
The sound of Bama sports. Your show, your team. The Martin Houston Show on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
All right, Martin, you can finish it up.
All right, welcome back into the Martin Houston Show, the 2-minute warning. Thanks to the great folks over at Alabama One Insurance. I get the opportunity to lead that great team each and every day, along with several other great team members, including financial wellness, community outreach, and business development. Alabama One providing you all of the services you've come to expect from your traditional financial institution, along with other great vertical services. And, of course, Alabama One Insurance, the one source for your insurance needs, auto, home, life, commercial. If you're looking to make sure that you're properly covered, then give us a call. We will review your coverages. We will reduce your premium, and you can relax knowing that you're covered. That's Alabama One Insurance, alabamaoneinsurance.com. All right, Joe, great show today, man. I love it when we're able to spread out and get more of the sports around the capstone. And earlier in the program, we welcomed Miss Prang from Ohio State transfer to University of Alabama softball team. We also talked about our 6'6" punter joining us from Australia. So it's going to be interesting to watch that come. And of course, Alabama having great the recruiting, some potential big news happening at 12:30 Central today. Follow at Hank South 247 Sports, and he will keep you in the loop on when and where that story and how that story breaks. Of course, we're watching JTT, the number one recruit in many rankings from last year's class, 2021, on slate to visit Alabama this weekend. And Pat said he's bringing his bags to Tuscaloosa, which means that he's going to commit, maybe not. May mean he's just going to fly from here up to Ohio State. But either way, there'll be a lot of big news coming on Monday that we'll break down for you from that news. But tomorrow we're going to have a free-for-all Friday, Flashback Friday, talk about some of the news stories from this week that we didn't get to delve into, SCOTUS ruling, etc., in terms of impact on college football, name, image, and likeness, scholarships, and more. If you have a topic, make sure you tweet it to me at Martin Houston 35, at Martin Houston 35. Tweet it to me or post it on Martin Houston Live, and we'll bring it into the conversation. I'm Martin Houston. That's Joe Gaither behind the glass, pushing all the right buttons. Thank you to all of the listeners, fans, viewers, chatters, and all of our guests and callers. Thank you, and we want to encourage you, trust in the Lord always, lean not your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will direct your paths. Roll Tide and have a blessed day, and we'll catch you on tomorrow. Same bat channel, same bat time.
Thank you for listening to the Martin Houston Show on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.